Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about verb in grammar. We discussed other topics of grammar earlier. For today we are going to take verb, and especially non-finite verb, because this topic, especially non-finite verb, is somewhat confusing, somewhat difficult for the students to understand. That is why very carefully you understand the concept of this topic, so that it will be easier for you to understand the sentence and to just point out the verbs, how the verbs have been used, what kind of verb has been used. So you will have to be very sincere in understanding especially this topic. Actually, according to verb, verbs are of two types. One is called finite verb. So one is finite verb and other is non-finite verb according to the verb. So you have to understand what is finite verb and what is non-finite. This is very important to understand. Understand the difference between the two, finite and non-finite. So you can understand this with examples. First I am giving you the definition, how we can just understand this is finite and how non-finite with examples. We shall just clear it with examples. First you come to understand finite. In a sentence you will see sometimes that there are two types of verb. Sometimes you will have just a single verb. Sometimes you will have two types of verb. One verb is finite verb and one is non-finite in the same sentence. So how shall we identify which one is finite and which one is non-finite, and how are they functioning? So first understand finite verb. So finite verbs are those verbs actually which are governed by the subject and tense of the sentence. Finite, just I am repeating, finite verbs are those verbs which are governed by the number and person of the subject and the tense of the sentence. They are finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are those verbs which are not governed by the subject and they do not make tense, or they are not affected by the tense of the sentence. Those verbs are non-finite verbs. Means non-finite, especially we have to understand this one. Non-finite verbs are those which are not governed, which are not directed or affected by the change in the subject or change in the person or number of the subject or change in the tense of the sentence. You can understand it just through examples. Just let us take some sentences. See these four sentences. You will find that there are two types of verbs. This one is verb, this one is verb, this one verb, this one. Again, this one, and this one. Now you can see the difference between the finite verb and non-finite. How shall we identify them? You can see that when subject is she, the finite verb is here wants. She wants to meet me. Here two verbs are wants and to meet. These are the two verbs. Now you see the characteristic of these two verbs. Here she wants to meet me. When the subject is changed and she becomes they, wants become want. Now it is not wants again. With she it is wants, but with they, when the number and person change, it becomes want. This is not used here. This is not used with they. But to meet is constant. It does not change. Even she becomes they, wants become want, but to meet remains the same. It remains constant. Similarly, you see, she wanted to meet me. Here, when it becomes wanted from want, it indicates past tense. It is in present. Now it comes in past tense when want becomes wanted. So here tense is changed. So want becomes wanted, but to meet remains the same. Even the tense is changed. Not only the person and number of the subject is changed, but even the tense is changed. The non-finite verb remains the same. They wanted to meet me remains the same. Means here this sentence you see to meet means no change at all. Here you see wants, wanted, but here no change. This is the feature of non-finite verb, that it does not change according to the subject or according to the tense, whereas the finite verb changes according to the subject and according to the tense. This is the basic concept. This is the basic concept about non-finite verb. Now, just let us take it in this way. Now let us take non-finite. Non-finite verbs are of three kinds. One is participles, gerund, and infinities. So non-finite verb is also of three types. One is participles, another is gerund, and next is infinitives. This participles is also of three kinds. This participle is also of three kinds. Now first let us take these participles first. These participles of non-finite verbs is also of three types. First is present participle, that is in given ing form. And this present participle, let us take first present participle. This actually, this comes from the verb. If you present participle, non-finite verb, that comes from the verb, but it functions as an adjective. So it is also called verbal adjective. It functions as adjective. That is why it is called verbal adjective. For example, you see, I saw the boy studying in the class. Here, this is the participle, present participle used here, and its function is of an adjective because it is qualifying boy. I saw the boy studying in the class. So this studying in the class, this studying is participle. I found a tiger running in the forest. This running is here present participle, non-finite verb. So its function is of an adjective, and that is why it is called verbal adjective. Now comes past participle. Actually here V3 form is used. Function is of an adjective, as you see. I threw the broken glass. Here this broken, this is past participle, that is called qualifying glass. I threw the broken glass. The injured man was treated. The injured man. Here you see this past participle verb is functioning as an adjective. That is why it is called verbal adjective. This is past participle. Next is perfect participle. Having plus V3. It is perfect participle, and the form will be having plus V3. Having got the result, all students were elated. Having got the result. You see, this is perfect participle, qualifying the noun result. Having finished the homework, Syam went to take his dinner. Having finished the homework. This is perfect participle form. This is perfect participle. So these are the forms of the participles in non-finite verbs. Now let us take the next one, non-finite verbs. General. It is verbal noun. it function and it has also given ing form, but used as noun. It is also ing form, but it is used as noun. But the function is of a noun. You can see here. Here you see walking. This appears to be as verb, but it functions as noun. So walking here is used as gerund. It is gerund because it is used as a noun. Though it appears to be a verb, but the function of this word is as noun. I like singing. Here this is gerund. Function as noun. I am fond of singing. Here also gerund. My hobby is singing. Again gerund. He is addicted to smoking. Gerund. So you can see how the verbal form used as noun, and this is called gerund. Next, and the most important here in non-finite verb is the infinitives. And infinitives are also two types. To infinitive, to given and without to. To given or without to given. This is the form. This is called to infinitive. This is called bare infinitive. See, and this is used, infinitives are used as noun. They are also used as adjective function. They are also used as adverb. In different ways the infinitives are used. You can see, to err is human. Here to err being used as noun. You can see how this infinitive, to infinitive is being used as noun. To err is human. The steal is a crime. They are noun. I have no time to play. Here, adjective. I have no house to live in. Adjective. Ram is ready to sacrifice. Adverb. English is easy to learn. Adverb. See how to infinitive is functioning as noun, as adjective, and as an adverb. In all these sentences, to err is human, noun. to steal is a crime now. I have no time to play adjective. I have no house to live in adjective. Ram is ready to sacrifice adverb. English is easy to learn adverb. So in different ways to infinitive word is used. Next is bare infinitive. There are certain verbs after which only bare infinitive is used, means without to infinitive is used. Like models. See, here, let. These are the verbs after which bare infinitive is only used. You can see. I can play. Model here you see. Bare infinitive without to used. You must go. You see model. Bare infinitive is used. Let me go. Let is used. Bare infinitive. If it is allow me to go, then it is to infinitive. But with let, only bare infinitive. I saw her read. After saw, bare infinitive. I heard her cry. After here you see bare infinitive. Also made. See, made me laugh. After made, bare infinitive. So you can see that how two infinitives and how bare infinitives are used. Two infinitives can be used in all these forms that I told you just before that, and without two infinitives are just used after model, see, hear, let, make. These verbs, after these verbs, bare infinitives are only used, and these all are called non-finite verbs. So it should be very clear in your mind that finite verbs are limited. They are controlled by the subject or by the tense, but non-finite verbs are not controlled by the subject or by the tense of the sentence. This is all about the verbs, especially non-finite verbs. Okay, thank you.